Hey there everybody, Modern Native here. Uh, Wanted to cover just my quick few tips on blade safety. Now when I say blade safety, that's anything with an edge, knife, hatchet, axe. Uh, Anything with an edge. If it can cut, it can cut you. So one of the main things, like most people know, most people do, a woodsman's anvil. That's the technical term for chopping on a log. So, one of my projects. So you guys, I'm sure most of you, especially if you've been outdoors yet, but if you haven't, obviously not, you brace it on the log, and then you can do your little chops, if that's what you're doing. I'm carving this, so I'm not going to try to chop it in half for you guys. But you just use that, nice and stable. This wiggles a lot because I moved it. My normal spot is right there, it's more level, but this is a better spot to film. Yeah, you use it to just brace it. Whenever I'm not using it and it's not in a sheath, I always stick it in the end of a log. Generally something laying down, so that way it's just a handle sticking up. When it comes to a knife, a couple more tips. When it comes to a hatchet, axe, obviously try to make sure that when you're swinging, even if you miss, the line is not in line with your leg. Try to always position your body. If I were to be trying to chop this, there's a log on top. If I were to be trying to chop, I'd have one leg back and I'd be chopping down onto it, so that way if I swing, I miss my leg. Always wear boots. I'm wearing flip-flops, that's why I'm not doing a lot of chopping. Still waiting for my boots to dry. Sorry, so much of it is common sense to me, and I've been doing it for so long that I don't think about it. Cut away from yourself, position your legs so that way if you miss, you're not going to hit yourself. If you're carving, make sure you've got a nice firm grip on it. You're not going to roll and slip and drop it. And if it's not in a sheath, it's in a log. That's my saying. Now, blades. Whenever you're doing any of this, obviously make sure that your circle is clear. You know, the old Boy Scout trick, swing out your hand when the knife is closed. If you can't touch somebody with it, you're safe. So pretty much make sure your circle is clear, so that way if you slip, it flies off, someone next to you ain't getting skinned. Always try to cut away from yourself. Always cut away from yourself. This one is not meant for this carving, but just showing you. Away from yourself. A lot of people like to do you hold it and you pull away. I don't know, to me that just feels like a whole lot of slippage towards your chest or your face, especially if you get tired and you're not focusing on it. If you're always striking away from yourself, you're not going to cut yourself. At least you're far less likely to cut yourself. Make sure all your stuff is sharp. But here's one thing about that. A dull knife is dangerous because it will shred instead of cut. So it'll be a jagged edge, it'll be tearing at the flesh. It won't be a clean cut that can either be stitched or bandaged. Now, a razor sharp knife, a lot of people believe you need to have a razor sharp knife. And now some of your carving tools, yes, that makes sense. Nice, easy, just paper thin shavings off of it to get that nice carving shape that you like to it. Yeah, that makes sense. But as far as your everyday using knife, it should have a working edge on it, not a razor sharp edge, because A, much more likely to slip and cut yourself with this. If it's razor sharp, that's the difference between having a clean cut and having it clean cut off. So there's that. But make sure your stuff is sharp, make sure your stuff is clean. Make sure you cut away from yourself. You use your anvils. Some of my blade safety tips. Get out there, be a native, and go beast.